So this is a video overview for actually 2 weeks in our class. It's going to be the video for September 20th through October 1st. And the reason I'm doing 2 weeks in one video is because students will actually be working on a bit of a project in class. They'll be reading a short story in a small group and doing a variety of activities in their groups. And so I'm just going to describe what they're doing in one video. So just a reminder that in my class, every Thursday is, unless there's some deviation from our schedule, every Thursday I give them some or all of class to do their membean and their quill. Remember that they need to do 45 minutes of membean every single week, and they need to pass 2 lessons of quill every single week. They have from Monday until Sunday to do that, and I give them time in class on Thursday. So there should, typically there's about 15 minutes of membean homework a week. Usually they can get all their quill done in class. However, this coming Thursday, the 23rd, students will also be having some time to go to the library, so they may not have as much time to do membean and quill, so there might be just a smidge more homework that week. And this Thursday that Thursday, September 23rd, is also our data day. And basically every couple of weeks I have students check their own grades and update their grades, and also update how they're doing on membean and quill. I think it's important that students track their progress so that they can get into the habit of knowing how they're doing. It's one of the self-advocacy lessons that we teach in 6th grade. So on Thursday, September 23rd, they may not get all their membean and quill done in class, so just a heads up on that. On Friday, the 24th, students will be working on grammar. They'll be working on apostrophes. And for vocabulary, they'll be working on the prefixes ambi, auto, inter, intra, and trans. All of that is in their interactive notebook. So there are resources here in Google Classroom for them, but they actually physically do the work in their interactive notebook, which they leave in class. Typically, if they don't finish those things, they should take it home, but they should have plenty of time. So then on September, I think 30th, they will have, that's a Thursday, they'll have the entire class period to do membean and quill, so they shouldn't have much homework that week for that. And then on Friday, they'll do a numbers activity for grammar, which is teaching them when to write out a number and when to write it as a number. And for vocabulary, they'll do the prefixes peri, tele, ab, add, x, and f. Again, those activities on Fridays are in their interactive notebooks. There are resources in Google Classroom, but they are cutting, potentially gluing, writing in their interactive notebooks. The majority of their work for those 2 weeks, however, will be in a little bit of a different looking format. So in addition to the weekly posts, which I just showed you, or the weekly topics, I'm also going to have a topic called Small Group Short Stories, September 20th through October 1st, for that project that they're doing during those 2 weeks. And this will have everything that they need. I start the students off with a checklist. This is just a sample checklist for one of the stories. And basically this checklist is just that. It's just a list of the things that they need to do. This checklist is not worth points, and I will talk to the kids about that. It's not worth points. It is simply a communication device. They can come into this checklist as much as they need to, tell me, okay, I'm done with task 6 now, or hey, no, I need help with task 6. Of course, they can also tell me in class they need help, but that, if they're doing it at home or if they're at home and they're at home for some reason, they can use this to communicate with me. And so basically what students will be doing is they'll be reading and analyzing literature and writing about it, and then also doing a presentation on it. So, speaking, listening, reading, writing, analyzing, all the things you want to be doing in language arts. So students will make a prediction about their text. Then each group is going to become a little bit of an expert on a specific literary element. So one group will do characterization, one group will do theme, and one group will do conflict. So I show that I embed a video for them to watch about that. Then students take notes based on that video about characterization or theme or conflict in general that applies to any story. Students will then skim the story, then they'll read the story, taking turns. There will also always be audio posted of the story, really of anything we read, in my YouTube channel, which I'll remind you where that is. So students can always do that. Then students will work with in their groups or on their own to answer questions during the story and after the story. Students will identify literary elements within the story because, again, that's what we're practicing. Students will then, now that they've read the story, they will then complete an activity for their specific story and their specific literary elements. So they will characterize characters in their story, or identify the conflict in their story, or identify the theme in their specific story. All students will work on plot. So I've embedded a link to a video about plot, and then all the students will basically just list, they'll map their stories on a plot diagram, which looks like this. It's let's see. Yeah, it's just a very beautiful plot diagram, and they can write in these boxes what's going on with their story. Sorry. Finally, students will do an extended response. It's very much like we did for 7th grade, and they will do that on their own, obviously. They'll have a test for the end of their story. So did you actually understand your story? Obviously, that will be on their own. And then they will actually come back together, and students are going to create a presentation to share with their classmates so that their classmates can find out a little bit more about their story, but also their literary element. So students are getting 3 times the information that they would in the same amount of time. And finally, students will evaluate themselves and their peers. So everything that they need is either linked in this checklist and or will be under the small group short stories topic, which will be at the top of the feed. So, and again, I will talk to students about all of this, but this is for you, the family, the parents, or the students at home. Just a reminder, I do have a day-by-day agenda in additional resources, and I have my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has basically any lesson that we do in class. Most of them, I will make a video and then post it under how to. And that way, so if your student is absent and they're like, oh, I really don't get how to do this, they should go to my YouTube channel, and watch the video. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't sharing that. So I have under additional resources is that week by week agenda or day by day agenda and my YouTube channel. And here's what the topic will look like for the short stories. So I hope that helps. I'm sorry this video ran a little long, but it is for 2 weeks, so hopefully that makes it up to you. And yeah, as always, reach out if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.